Hey girls, hope you had a great weekend. This is our lesson for Monday, May 18th. And guess what? We are officially on a new module. We finished with module mission 6, and now we're going to module 4, mission 4, which I'm really excited because it's geometry. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different geometric features like points, lines, rays, uh, angles, and it's just fun and a little bit different. So our I can statement is I can identify and draw points, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. Now, what you want to have handy is a straight edge. If you have a ruler or a protractor, awesome. But if you don't, that's okay because you can use something like the straight edge on my llama friend here. You can use the edge of a notebook. You can use the edge of a folder. Okay? So it doesn't have to be a ruler, okay? Just as long as you have something nice and straight. So the different types of things we're going to be talking about today, and I really want you to work on being very neat and using that straight edge when you make these figures. Our first one is a point. That's all it is. It just looks like a point, like a dot. We have used points when we've uh, plotted points on our number line. We just make basically a dot, okay? But you might want to make it just a little bit thicker so it stands out. Next, I'm going to my line segment. Now, what you're going to notice about my line segment is it has two endpoints. So I can start here and go here, or I can start here and go here. But that's it. I can just keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, but nowhere else. Next, I have a line. And what you're going to notice about the line is it kind of looks like the segment, but the line has two arrows on the end. And this line is going through 2 points. Now, there could be more points all over this line. Now, what you'll notice is I can start here and then I can keep going and going and going and going and going. A line never ends, kind of like our numbers. We can keep counting for frontwards or backwards um, and never get to the end. So that line needs to have the two arrows. Different from my line segment, a segment is a part of something. So that line segment is a part of a line. Next, look at our ray. What do you notice about the ray? A ray has one endpoint. And it's always kind of funny to me that they call it an endpoint because to me, it's a starting point because I can only start here and go this way. And I can keep going and going and going and going and going. But that's the only way I can go. It's like a one-way street. I'm not allowed to go this way. Okay? That's against the law with the ray. Okay? So my ray has one endpoint and then it just keeps on going in the opposite direction. And then the last thing we have here are angles. Okay? And you probably talked about angles in 3rd grade. And I have different kinds of angles, and we're not going to be talking about them right away, but through the course of this module, we will be. I have my straight angle, which is basically a line. And when we have an angle, what it's talking about is basically the arc. Angles kind of they form a circle, or they like measure. So when I talk about this angle, I'm talking about how far am I traveling from here to here, and that would be 180 degrees. That's half of a circle. If I go over here, from here to here, I've still traveled part of the circle, and I've traveled more than halfway to the half circle. So that would mean it's an obtuse angle. It's kind of wide. And then I have my angle here. And I like to call it, well, it's called an acute angle, but I like to say, oh, it's so cute. It's just a cute little angle. And then I have my right angle. And a right angle is a special angle because it's 1/4 of the circle, and you can form a square. A right angle is also called a square angle because you can form a perfect square right there. And it is 90 degrees, 1/4 of my whole circle. Okay. So right now, we're going to move to our whiteboard. Make sure that you made these different figures in your notebook. And again, make sure you are using that straight edge. There is no freehand here because it won't look as well as we want it to. So I lied. We're not going to the whiteboard yet. I want to talk about how we name these figures. And with our point, it's as simple as point A, whatever the letter is. Point A, over here, point B. Even down here, there's a point C. But when it comes to my line segment, my ray, and my line, I have to make sure that I am naming it and reading it properly. So this can be called segment or line segment AB or segment BA. And you'll see that above the names AB, BA, there is a little mini line segment. And remember my line segment, I can travel in either direction. I can start at A and go to B, and then I can go right back to A, back and forth. So that's why I can name it 2 ways. So then I go to my line. And again, I can name this 2 ways. It's line AB or line BA. Why? Because I can travel in either direction and travel as far as I want to. Remember that this arrow is telling me that this line can technically still keep going off the page. Same with in this direction. Now I go to my ray. Now remember, a ray is a one-way street. So this can only be called ray AB. I can only start at A and go in the direction of B. I cannot go backwards. And AB has the little ray symbol over it. My last one is an angle. And I have something right here. Point B is basically holding 2 rays together. Here's one of the rays, ray BA, and here's the other ray, ray BC. And that point B, which is holding my angle together, is called the vertex. Now, with an angle, it's a little bit different with an angle. Even though these are rays, I can go in either direction. This is ABC or CBA, but you'll notice I'm following the angles, A to B to C or C to B to A. I use a little angle symbol, angle ABC or angle CBA. So now we're really going to move to our whiteboard and do some examples together. So now we truly are using the whiteboard. So what I want you to do is have your packet available, and I want you to look at lesson 1, and we're actually going to do number 3 together. So number 3 advises you to follow the directions to draw a figure in the box to the right. The first direction is to draw 2 points, A and B. It does not matter where the 2 points are as long as they're separated. So yours does not have to be exactly like mine. Here's point A, my point A, and my point B, and make sure that you name them. Then you have to use a straight edge. I do happen to have a ruler with me, but remember you can use any straight edge that you have. And it says to draw ray AB. Now, remember a ray is like a one-way street. So I'm going to start at A. I'm going to go through B, and then I'm going to put an arrow because remember, a ray is a one-way street. Think of it like a ray of light from the sun, okay? The rays come down, we don't send them back up. It's only one direction from the sun down to earth. The next direction says to draw a new point that is not on AB and label it C. So you can put yours up here, you can put it down here, you can put it over there. It doesn't matter. So there's a point C. Like I said, your point C might be up there. And then they want us to draw line segment AC. That symbol is a line segment. And remember, a line segment has 2 endpoints. Okay? So there's line segment AC. The next direction says draw a point not on ray AB or AC and call it D. I'm just going to put mine over here. Again, maybe yours is up there. Your image does not have to look, your diagram does not have to look exactly like mine. Okay? So I called it D. And then they want us to construct line CD. Now remember, a line, kind of like our number line, has the arrows on either end. So that means I'm going through both points and I'm putting a line, my line symbols there, my arrows, showing what I have here. So I have ray AB, I have segment AC, or I can call it CA, and then I have line CD, or I can call it DC. Then they want you to use the points here to name one angle. Well, I see an angle here. Now, this angle, that's my vertex. Okay, that's my central point. So that goes in the center. So it's CAB, or I can call it angle BAC. Hopefully you noticed another angle. I have one right here. And it's made by this and this. So again, the C is the vertex. It's the center of the angle. So this is angle ACD. You can trace it. A to C to D. Or angle DCA. So for the remainder of this module, you are going to want to have your straight edge readily available as we continue through this. Complete the problem set, take a picture, send it to me. And I hope that your diagram doesn't look exactly like mine. Maybe you first did it like mine, maybe you'll try a second one and make it look a little bit different. Bye, see you tomorrow.